We got freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on new freedom exchange, we freeing your brain. They trying to shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Man Bilal, to get your cultural enlightenment now.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. That is peace and blessings on you. Good Friday evening for those living here in the States, but good Saturday for those who may be on the ahead of us, wherever you are in the United States and the world. Welcome to another special edition of New Freedom Exchange exclusive here with the HBCU MSA Spotlight. I am Imam Bilal, chair, of the HBCU MSA Coalition. And we welcome everyone to the space tonight. And we ask everyone who comes in to the space to give salams. Let us know where you are. Let us know where you're tuned in from. And let us also know if you have any questions for tonight for our very special guest. We took a little hiatus off from last week's show, but we are back with another installation with another group of special guests. And this purpose, again, to remind everyone of why we're doing these real briefly before we bring on our guests, is to highlight the HBCU MSAs that are out there and within our network that are doing some wonderful things on their college campuses, in the college community, especially the HBCU world, and that each HBCU that we have brought on, alhamdulillah, has their own, I would say, flavor. Not every MSA is the same. The purpose is the same, but not necessarily in terms of the culture of each HBCU that we have brought on. Everyone has come with some sort of different flavor. So tonight, we have our special guest from the state of Tennessee. We have MSA members from the Tennessee State University MSA with us, and alhamdulillah, we're going to bring them on now to the screen and allow them to introduce themselves. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah, how's everyone feeling tonight?
Alhamdulillah,
Very
good. Been amazing.
Alhamdulillah.
So it's Jummah today too. So
yes, it is Jummah Mubarak. Yes, it is the blessed day of Yom Jummah. So what better way to end it for some for Maghrib, but a good way to end the day with a special segment with you all, the Tennessee State MSA. So let's do some intros. Where is everyone from? And your major, your classification, and a fun fact about yourself. Who would like to kick us off?
I think we should start with Mr. President.
Mr. President.
I knew you guys were gonna pick me out. Okay.
It's gotta be. That's formality.
So I probably everybody knows, but I am the president of the TSU MSA. I'm Zaki Dosky. I'm a senior in mechanical engineering, graduating in December, inshallah. I'm from Kurdistan, Iraq, and I have a bunch of fun facts, but I guess one neat one is before coming to college, I did fight unprofessional mixed martial arts.
Cool. MMA. Okay, we got an MMA fighter amongst us. All right, alhamdulillah. Okay, who's next? Who got it next?
I think I can go next. Yes. So my name is Salaban Gabur. I'm a current junior at TSU. I study biochemistry, and I guess a quick fun fact is I went to do Umrah this past Ramadan, the last 10 days.
Alhamdulillah. May Allah accept it. What's your position on the board?
Oh yes, I'm the VP.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, welcome. Okay, how about the sisters?
Brittany can go ahead.
Come on.
I'm Brittany Morganfield. I'm a junior at Tennessee State University. I'm a business marketing major. And I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. moved here. I guess a fun fact, I moved to Nashville last August, so I've only been here for like a little over a year. So
Okay.
Oh, even I didn't know you officially moved here. I thought you still lived in
Yeah.
Memphis.
oh no.
What is your board position, Sister Brittany?
I'm the social media chair of the TSU MSA.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
She's
Welcome.
amazing at it.
She
Oh,
is.
yes,
She
definitely.
is.
Yeah.
Sister
She might be
Mariam?
president one day.
Okay, my name is Mariam Akbar.
Okay.
I'm a sophomore at Tennessee State University. I serve as the secretary for our MSA.
Mhm.
Quick fun fact, I like to read books. Haven't read anything recently because of exams, but alhamdulillah, it's been going well with the team, and I'm excited for our new year.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So, what can you all tell us, those who are not familiar with TSU? Because some people may not be familiar with TSU, never heard of TSU before, don't know anything about it. Would someone would like to share maybe a fun fact about TSU, or perhaps what is TSU known for in terms of majors or something interesting that we don't know, that people don't know about TSU?
I mean, I think the first thing anybody should know about TSU is like we're TSU opened on Juneteenth.
Oh, wow.
1912? Was it 1912?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was on June 19th. Like an HBCU that was open on June 19th. I think that's really amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that part. Okay, yeah, that's definitely historical for sure. Anyone else want to give us another TSU fact? Some of it that we might need to know.
Yeah, I think the one thing that anyone should know about TSU is that although it is an HBCU, it is very diverse. Like you will meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds, so many people from the diaspora, and it's very welcoming. So if anyone is considering TSU, trust you'll feel at home. It's a very welcoming and warm environment. So
it feels, if to add on that, it feels like a pretty like tight knit community at TSU. I think I'd say that.
For sure.
I definitely feel that. I mean, especially now with the MSA, like, I feel like even the Muslim community can feel a lot more tight knit.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. You see people coming out, meeting new people, and it's
So let's talk about the MSA at TSU, since we're all already going there already, and you all hitting it on the diversity portion of TSU student body. So let's go there a little bit. Let's discuss a little bit about the MSA at TSU. When did you all start? When did you all start the MSA at TSU?
Saturday, I think you want to talk about that one.
Yeah. So, unofficially, I guess we got the ball rolling spring 2023, I think it was. It was me and another Muslim sister who's not on the podcast here today. We were talking about it at the beginning of Ramadan. We were like, hey, wouldn't it be so nice if we had a prayer spot on campus? Because we know of a lot of other Muslim students. And then we went to try and work something out with faculty, try and find a spot. And we were advised, hey, the best way for you to do this is to declare yourselves as an official campus organization so that you can have backing, so you can reserve spots, so that faculty will automatically know that, hey, there's a demand for what you're coming with, what you want. And so we signed the papers, we drafted the documents, and that's where it started. Yeah.
It wasn't really official until December. Was it late December, or like I think it was late December.
Yeah, it was after the summer, right? Because
it was definitely after the summer.
Yeah, you and I, we connected, I think, fall.
We connected in the fall, and then nothing was official until I believe it was definitely in between semesters, like fall to spring in 2023, 24. So
yeah, we have the receipts, but
yes,
somewhere.
Oh man, I feel like you definitely cut that story off short.
There's
a lot more to that.
No, we I think we did justice. That's what happened.
I mean, it was, man. Like this.
So we have a founder online. So alhamdulillah, this is good. So you guys are fresh. So how can let's dive into that a little bit more. Let's unpack it a little bit more about the start of the MSA and like the why. The why. I mean, I hear the prayer space. So I hear the need for the Muslims to get out and establish salat, which is the very first thing that we need to do anyway, is to establish the salat. But other than that, what was the other motivations to start the MSA at TSU that we may not be aware of?
So the main one was the Salah. It was Ramadan time, so we wanted something to kind of help facilitate that for us, because some people, they might on campus find difficulty getting a place to pray without being disturbed, right? Like me, I go into a corner in a library, just pray there. But I know some people, they might not be comfortable with that. So the prayer was the foundational reason. But additionally, I think personally, what I'd add to that is we would usually go around and see other Muslim students, but we wouldn't know them. So I guess we established the MSA as a way of kind of building those bridges between ourselves, right? To get to know each other better. Yeah.
And I think to add on to that, not only to build the Muslim community, but also give dawah to people who are non-Muslims, who may, especially in today's context, there's such a negative bias towards Muslims, and they don't know like what our values are, or what we stand for, and a lot of those stereotypes still live on today. So even though we might be a small community, our little activities that we do, they make an impact. It has a domino effect. They see who we are, our values, and then as they go on in their, I don't know, future career or something, they will interact with other Muslims and see Muslims in the media. And through our activities, they'll be like, okay, maybe that preconceived notion isn't so true. So I think a big part of it is also giving dawah and telling people about what Islam really is about.
Alhamdulillah. I like that. So any challenges would you all say that you came across?
Man.
Any
I think more than I can count.
Let's unpack one or two.
That was like the first thing we ran into.
So the first thing we ran into was, it was in the first thing we set out to do, get a prayer room. That became an obstacle because were you gonna say something?
I was just like, I remember that. I remember the details. I remember those details.
You remember those details? Well, how would you describe the foundings of the MSA from your perspective, Zach?
From my limited perspective, because you guys never asked me for anything, so I was just kind of in the background. But from what I was on the outside looking in at what they were doing. But Sariban and Rimas, who great friend of ours, she helped establish everything, and Nida, I think, also a good friend. I think there was somebody else too. I don't remember who. I don't remember everybody by name. We're going around asking for like the prayer spaces, and everybody just like, that room's unavailable. This one's unavailable, and even though there was like nothing in the room, like it just wasn't being used, hasn't been used in a long time. It's like, no, the room's unavailable.
Yep. Or they'd say, hey, go speak to this department. And then we go to that department and they say, hey, no, you should be speaking to that department. But they sent us to that. You see what I mean? They would send us in circles. And that was the first obstacle.
Oh, yeah. You guys were very frustrated.
We were. We were. Yeah.
And I think another main one is more like of a root problem. And I think Brittany would be very good to speak about this. But because the Muslim community that we've grown so far has not reached out to, there's like a difference in our community versus the Black community. And there's like a divide between us, and trying to bridge that gap, because we are not, Black people, it's hard to connect with those, that community. And I think Brittany could touch on it really well and speak more about it, but I think that's a really big issue that we're trying to solve this year.
Yeah, for sure. Like that was one of, outside of obvious reasons of like needing community and trying to just like establish that. Again, there's like, we're at an HBCU, but the MSA didn't really reflect that. And I know there are Black Muslims on campus, and I know there are people that we can reach who also need a community like I did. This is my first semester at TSU. But like Miriam said, like there's a disconnect. Like there's a certain element of like Black culture and how we communicate and how we connect with each other that was missing. And I can say like we had a tabletop event, which is where like student organizations come out and just talk about their organization, get people to join, like explain what we're doing. And I can tell the difference it made us having a presence and like engaging with other students and being with the other student organizations. Like people were coming up to us, people were asking about what we were doing, our initiatives, people were grabbing Qurans. Like it was a really good day. And again, I could tell the difference it made just being in that environment and connecting with them versus us being in like our own bubble.
So you all talked about this divide, and this is because this is a very unique experience that we're seeing across the HBCU world. You all are not the only ones. Just to let you know that there is some other HBCUs in the network and other Black Muslim student initiatives, associations that have popped up as well, organized at other bigger Ivy League universities and colleges that have a similar makeup, So, but at a HBCU, I mean, you all, I mean, why would you say that the challenge, or like, what is it that you all seeing that it's what's holding it back? What do you think is holding people back from joining TSU MSA? Or is it because of the culture of the fabric of the TSU MSA, like what we see on the screen now? Or is it other things that maybe have nothing to do with the culture or the fabric of the MSA right now? I mean, can we unpack that a little bit more?
That's a very good
Yeah,
question.
there's actually a few things we can mention. Like, tabletop really and I knew it was a thing, but and we've talked about this amongst each other, but I was hoping people didn't think that about us. Was like at the tabletop, and alhamdulillah, Brittany, well, like when she showed up, she was able to like go over to people and actually speak to them, especially because there's another organization called the African Student Association, and a lot of them are Muslims, and they commonly told Brittany they were like afraid to come like talk to us because they felt like oh, I'm not really the best Muslim, like I feel too shy to go over there, and it's something I've always hated, that like that's a thing for people, because I'm like, I don't want people to ever feel like that. Like we're all Muslim, and at the end of the day, like be good Muslim, bad Muslim, like what at the end of the day, what even defines that?
Yeah.
Like who, there's only one judge there in the Quran, and there's many ayahs in the Quran that says, we judge by righteousness, and there's only one judge of righteousness. So like, alhamdulillah, thankfully Brittany was able to like get people to show up for that, and it's really made a change. I think that's the biggest thing. People feel like they have to be like the perfect Muslim to be part of MSA.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think like a representation thing, like when you already feel like you have to be a perfect Muslim, and then you don't really see people who like look like you in the organization, it can be kind of intimidating. And I think that's the biggest thing, because I think I've also felt that like being in Muslim spaces and is predominantly like non-Black, like I just feel kind of intimidated, and it's like, oh, like do I even have a place here? But it helps seeing people who look like you, so you don't feel as scared to join, even with this like idea of like this imposter syndrome, basically. So I think it's that.
Yeah, I'm glad for the board that I have now. Like all the inner culture that we have around here.
It makes a difference.
Yeah. So Brittany, I mean, I guess this question is more to you, but the board can answer too. You being part of this very diverse experience at TSU with the MSA, how does that make you feel? And, in terms of your comfortability working with this, seems like just met you all, it seems like you all have a very good work ethic, and you guys like being around each other. So could you describe a little bit of that kind of dynamic? How has that worked for you all? How have you all made it work is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's been very great. Again, like Zaki said, I love the team. Yeah, we connected very easily. Zaki is the personality of the group. He's Mr. Popular.
Everybody keeps saying that. Hey, that's exaggeration.
No. You're known. You're known around the place.
Yes,
That is
we are.
definitely exaggeration.
His name's Ma'ruf. Is known.
Of like Zaki's personality, like all of us together, like we work very well together. And I will say that I was nervous joining only because like I'd never joined an MSA before, and it was just different. It was different, and it was me going out of my comfort zone. But we work very well together. Like we all are great at different things. When we come together, we can really make some greatness. So it's been really great so far this semester. We're a great team.
Oh yeah, man, if only you knew how Brittany joined. It was hilarious.
Oh, tell that story. We want to hear that. Yeah, we want to hear that.
So, it was the first like general body meeting of this semester, and I came in, spoke to our SSLM, and we were just going over, what everybody planned to do for the semester. And then Zaki was like, "Does anybody here know how to do social media?" Well, me, like I do social media work. He was like, "Okay, I'll send you the login information," and it was up from there. Added to the executive board group me, and
right away.
Yep.
It's been great. So
dude, I suck at social media. Like anybody who knows me knows like I'm bad at taking photos. I'm bad at taking videos. I'm horrible at communication. Brittany messaged the MSA Instagram. I replied 3 days later.
Yeah, because I was like, is there a way to join? Like, is there a form or anything? Because I didn't see anything on the TSU website about how to join. So I was just like, let me just reach out directly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad I was like, you know what? Let me check the TSU Instagram.
I'm glad you responded.
It was funny. I was like, oh, man, she sent to me 2 days ago. I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah. But I'm not going to lie. When Brittany came through, it was like a door opened for us. And then all these events came through. Yeah.
Oh, it really was.
We're glad.
To
have you, Brittany.
You're a gift to us. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Alhamdulillah. So what events have you all done so far in your short time span on campus? Could you describe some of the events that you have done so far at TSU?
So far we've only done Tabletop Tuesday, but it's because we're preparing for a charity week in October. That's like those are our big events of the semester. So it's a week of charity. We're raising money for children in need and orphans in places like Gaza, Kenya, Sudan, Malaysia, Bangladesh, and those are our big events. So we've been preparing and like planning for those events happening in October. So Tabletop was our first event.
Oh wow! So then I guess my next question would be more so dealing with, and alhamdulillah, I'm glad that you all mentioned about the charity. That may Allah reward you all immensely for doing the work to help those in need, as for our brothers and sisters all around the world who are suffering in some sort of hunger due to displacement and isolation and etc. in the forms of apartheid and oppression. So may Allah reward you all for that work. And I mean, so after the charity week, what's some other future, can you give us a little appetizer of what TSU MSA might be cooking up outside of the work with the charity?
Well,
yes. So, sorry, Zaki, were you?
Oh no, my bad. Well, we did forget to mention, like on Mondays we do our Dawah circle.
Yeah.
Well, right now it's on Mondays, but of course, like it can be any day through the week. I always tell everybody, if Monday's too busy for too many people, then we're like, okay, we'll pick a different day for the week and different time. We pick a topic and everybody comes in and we can talk about things. Especially, I really like to pick the topics that people really deal with a lot of, and like something that's close to their heart this way, because what I love is I do so much late night studying in Islam and things on my own that I always find there's something in the Quran for any emotion that you're having towards anything. There's something there to comfort you always. So I always have something for everybody, and it's been great discussions. Alhamdulillah, everybody showed up and got a lot of good things to talk about, and I'm gonna start streaming them soon so everybody can really watch it.
Yeah, I think people ask for that, right? Like Zoom.
Yeah.
We've had a bonfire with the other local MSAs as well.
Yeah, I think last semester.
Well, no, just recently.
Just recently. Yeah, we had one.
Yeah, and
yeah,
the sheikh at the local Bellevue Masjid, he's a great guy. Love him. He's actually a really young imam, and he's really great at talking to the young people. Gives always great talks, and he gives us a halak. He usually gives us halakas like once a month. I think what else do we have planned? Like I know next semester I'm so excited.
My memory is like so crazy. We definitely have the picnic this Sunday as well.
Oh yes, the picnic on Sunday. Forgot about
MSA
that.
picnic. So like all of the MSAs in the region are coming together for a picnic at Centennial Park. So that's very exciting. So we've had events like with outside like the masjids and like other MSAs, but our like events that we've hosted, we're still getting those together.
Okay. I think next semester I'm really excited.
Nice, alhamdulillah. So this sounds great. I mean, excellent lineup. I do like the collaboration with the local community in terms of collaborating with the masajids and also the other MSAs in the state of Tennessee. I mean, I think that's alhamdulillah, that's a wonderful thing. You definitely encourage that as well. Now, in terms of dawah, you talk about the information of the tabletop event. Something that's really big that I encourage and something that I really worked on when I was MSA president at Lincoln in Pennsylvania, Lincoln University, was interacting with the rest of the student body and university staff and administration in terms of not just putting on events, but also collaborating with other like-minded organizations. And it doesn't have to be Muslims per se. Have you all thought about, in terms of how you all, knowing the TSU environment, which is very different from any other HBCU, knowing the TSU environment, have you all given any thought to the aspect of what TSU's dawah for the MSA looks like in terms of either its collaboration with another organization or something like that?
Well, I mean, Brittany, you can start this one off.
Yeah. So we actually plan to collaborate with other organizations for Charity Week. At Tabletop, we connected with a lot of organizations, again, the African Student Association. We spoke with TSU SEC, the Honors College president. So definitely we're collaborating with other organizations on campus because this semester is really all about awareness, like letting people know that we are here and letting Muslim students know that we're here for them as well. So yeah, that's one of our initiatives because we know in order to reach the students, you have to connect with the other organizations as well. And we know that they're established, and it'll be really great to like bring other students on so they can be a part of what we're doing for Charity Week.
Yeah. And also on the topic of dawah, something I encourage in like one of the discussions, I generally lead them. I keep offering other people if they want to lead, but they usually keep telling me to lead it. Like one thing that I talked about in the first discussion was, like there's all different forms of dawah, and me and Sadibban really learned that deeply over the summer. Was there's not just dawah al-Islam, calling people to Islam. You have dawah al-Iman, which is increasing the iman, the faith of people who are already Muslim and already believe. That's something I'm really always encouraged. That's why I like hosting these discussions. Everybody's been benefiting. I feel like everyone's gotten a deeper knowledge of Islam. And everyone's become even closer to the deen and each other. And I encourage everybody always, dawah al-aman, that's a word, which is, giving dawah with your actions, like showing people the character of a Muslim. And that's, alhamdulillah, we've only had MSA for, maybe a little over a year now. And in the past year, Sadima did with 5 people we could accept Islam.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. I remember I told you this before. I was sitting somewhere, just like working on some homework, and then someone walked in. Hey, are you a Muslim? I'm like, yeah. Why? And then we started talking about Islam, and I was like, you already believe all these things. Why don't you just accept Islam? And then she was like, I want to do that. And then she became Muslim. But that's one story. There was 2 from my account, and Zaki, I think you had 2 or 3 others.
Sort of. I mean, Jason, I didn't meet him myself. I love hearing Jason's story, man. He was our basketball star from Nigeria, 6'11", center. When he gets in my car, he doesn't even fit. Dude, his head is touching the ceiling. But he's playing professional Albania right now. He accepted back in September. And if you know who Dr. Faraj Hassan is, like it was through Dr. Faraj Hassan that he accepted Islam. And he became Muslim back last September. Joshua, you met Joshua Sadiman.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I see him.
You were there when he accepted Islam. That one, his story is amazing. When we met 2 years ago, his name's Joshua Stovall. He's in Lansing, Michigan right now as an engineer. I love the guy so much. When we met, I never would have thought he'd accept Islam. And this past Ramadan, he decided to fast with us. And he grew up a Christian, just like most like the Black community in the South, like they generally grew up Christian. So he didn't really I don't want to say like the values, but he didn't believe in them, like as far as Trinity and things like that. He was fasting with us. I just thought he wanted to fast with us, and long story short, we invited him to come pray with us at the masjid and have iftar with us, and we taught him how to pray and everything. He asked us so many questions about Jesus or Isa ibn Maryam, and it was getting towards the end of the semester, and our friend Taj, he tells him you already accepted, you don't, he was worried that he needed to learn more before he could accept it. He's like, no, you already believe it, so just accept it now. And 2 weeks before the semester ended, he accepted Islam. And there's so many great stories of people accepting, and I'm still in touch with them. I love all these people to this day. I love giving dawah all the time.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the great things about I know I keep talking about tabletop, but I connected with one of the young ladies in the African Student Association, and when I spoke with her, she was like, "Yeah, I wanted to come over to the table because I'm really thinking about converting, and I just need the push." And I was like, "Girl, come on over! It's already
come to the right place."
So
that's what we're here for.
Right. It was a really great moment, and she came over to our table, and it was great. It was really great.
To kind of build off of that, a lot of other people were coming to the table too, being like, "Hey, my dad's Muslim. I want to learn more about the faith," or "I'm Muslim, but I want to reconnect, right, to the religion."
That's what I love, man. Even me as somebody who I was born Muslim, but I didn't practice anything at all really until the past year maybe. And so I told people, hey, look, even Mr. President wasn't always the greatest Muslim either, guys. Right. Come on,
And everybody has their own journey. So. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Alhamdulillah, and this is beautiful. The stories that you are sharing. A lot of times, people find themselves in terms of who they are in different stages of their life. But in college, it's a different phase of your life and your development. You're more open to reading and studying because you're in an academic circle. You're around everyone else who's studying, and you're seeing different experiences. And you're seeing different people that, hey, you may not get to see regularly in your city or your town that you may come from. So this is all new to some people, and it allows it to be, since we are smaller in terms of relatively speaking to predominantly Ivy League school or college, university, it allows you to get more one-on-one with folks that, you may not be able to see because you're just a statistic, you're just a number. You understand what I'm saying? Most HBCUs are not as big, as some other schools. So, the impact that is felt is more direct. So you are empowering people directly with the work that you all are doing and just being yourselves. And I think we talked about that a little bit, about that imposter syndrome, and I think it's all about combating those type of things. It's just being yourself. And we know that there is no picture perfect. There's no one's going to be a picture perfect Muslim. That wasn't never the point of the MSA, or the reason why the MSA exists. Muslim Association exists because to provide a space for all Muslims, no matter where they're from, what they look like, how they dress, how they eat. You know what I'm saying? How they even talk. And their experiences, because we know we're not a monolith. We're not. And the reality is, it's supposed to be a safe space. So when people feel comfortable, like you all creating comfortability, in the space, then people are going to come. They're going to naturally want to flock to where they feel safe and not going to be judged because they're not this quote unquote perfect Muslim or whatever. That grows. Our iman goes up, it goes down. It's like a roller coaster. So I'm saying sometimes you may be feeling great. Allahu Akbar, everything's going good, as it seems. And then the next thing you know, maybe not so much. I'm not really feeling it. I may not want to make prayer on time no more. I may not want to fast. I may not want to give zakat. But there's the extra motivation from your peers. This is what the MSA is good for. That extra, motivation for your peers. Like, hey, man, come on, let's go pray. Let's go fast. Let's put something in the zakat box. Even, put a little something in there. So I'm saying that's all that matters, right? Is our intention. So, alhamdulillah, I think you all are embodying that, spirit and that energy where you are at TSU. I want to ask this. So, in terms of, I think we kind of answered this question, but if you all could, in the space right now, tell us, why should people join the MSA at TSU? If whoever's watching, maybe they're TSU or not, but let's talk as if you were talking to a TSU student. Why should they join the TSU MSA?
I'll let you guys do this one.
I think it's the community. Again, we all need community, and the MSA is open to everyone, not just Muslim students. Like, you have a space here on campus. And again, being on college, like at college, and being on campus, it can be very intimidating trying to find yourself and find a space in the community and a friend group and all these things. But there's a space for you here. There's a space for you to be vulnerable. There's a space for you to learn. There's a space for you to be open. Like, you don't have to worry about community and judgment. Like, here, like, it's a judgment-free zone. Like, one of the things that I was saying at tabletop was just like, come as you are. Like, you don't have to worry about how you present yourself to us, because there's a space for you here. We're not here to judge you. We're here to be here for you. Like, that's what we're here for. And like, you'll always have a space with us, because we're here for everybody, and we understand what it's like. Like, we've all had our own troubles, so we know what it's like to go through something and to feel alone and feel like you don't have a space somewhere. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, Mariam, I know you've got to have something on this one.
Yeah, I think to go off of that, especially because of this gap I was talking about, having more events, like, for example, and going back to the event thing, the World Hijab Day that we will hold in February, I think that's a really good way to make people comfortable about Islam, get them comfortable with why we wear this stuff or more about our values. So I think that's a really great way for us to connect with people more.
Mm-hmm. Saliban, you have anything on that?
Yeah, I think I'd like to add, really the only thing we're calling people toward is being better, right? Praying more, being more self-aware, talking with your peers about concepts that are important, about righteousness. That's really what we're calling people toward, right? So if you want to become a better person, that's what the discussion is here at MSA. So that's what I put forward.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I could finish off with, like, like that Sadiban said pretty much almost everything I was gonna say. Like, as Muslims and any of the events we're gonna have, I'm never gonna say, hey, bro, let's go to the club tonight. Like, no, I'm gonna say, hey, let's, like, I'm gonna only encourage. Like, I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna encourage you, like, hey, let's go have some drinks tonight. No, I'm gonna say, hey, let's go study, or let's go. I'm only gonna encourage you to do good. I think, if you want to do better, if you want to better yourself, I think anybody should, like, at least have if you're not a Muslim, why not have a Muslim friend? Because, we won't, at least we shouldn't encourage you to do bad. We should ideally encourage you to do better. But like off of what Brittany said, like coming as you are and everything, like, people feeling comfortable. Like, I told them, and I tell all the members of the MSA, like, and anybody who joins, like, I take it as myself as a president. Like, if you ever feel, like, uncomfortable about things, or, like, you ever feel bothered by anything, like, I can be a counselor. Like, you can message me on GroupMe or my phone number, Instagram, however anybody wants to message me. we can call, have a conversation, or text, whatever. And even if it's, I'm usually up later into the nights anyways. Like I usually don't go to sleep till 2 a.m. sometimes, but when I say like, hey, like at some point through the day, I will absolutely message you. We can have a talk, and there's one she like Semna. She's a member of the. We always have a late night conversation every time. She's always got questions and stuff, and I love doing it. Like if somebody has a question, like and wants to learn more about Islam, dude, I'm up in the late night reading the Quran myself. So like, hey, like come on, I'll answer some questions if you want, or like like I've had people say like, hey, like I feel uncomfortable about certain things. Like sometimes I feel bothered by certain people, and I say, okay, like I'll address the issue. We'll talk about it, we'll make it better. That's all I'm looking for, like a good community of people.
Exactly. It's really all about like having people around you who want to do good as well, because it makes a difference.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. How can the alumni and the community, greater community, when I say community, I'm talking about the greater community of Muslims. And when I say alumni, TSU, MSA, Muslim, or just TSU Muslim alums, how can we as a community support you all? Or what does support from the community or alumni, what does that look like for you all at TSU MSA? Because we know from our experiences in undergrad running an organization, particularly the MSA or any student organization, you need some money. That's first. You need some dollars, right? You need some, you need some, what I mean? Listen, that's, what I mean? Come on, man. Like, that's one, I know that's one area, but there's other areas. There's mentorship, there's career development. I don't want to give everything away, but what does it TSU MSA, what does TSU MSA look for in alum and community support? What does that support look like?
I think we're still trying to develop that, like as we go along, because again, like we just developed our board, like we're still trying to plan events and like what it looks like to be active on campus. But yeah, like Salaban and Zaki have talked about, like getting the prayer room, like needing support and backing for that, because again, if they don't think that there's, I guess,
there's a discussion about that.
if faculty and staff or whatever, they don't think there's like a demographic for it, then they're not going to do it. So like having backing from that, like from alums, like, hey, like we need this. Of course, funding. I think we're realizing that as we plan our charity league.
Most of it's coming out of our own pockets.
Right. But yeah, like help with like just promoting our events, like having spaces on campus. And like you said, like mentorship and like job placement, because I think employment, how do I want to say this?
Finding a job is hard.
Simply.
I think like jobs, like working as a Muslim is just very different, especially with like the obligations we have throughout the day. So trying to like find the best places to work and things like that, like that's needed as well.
Not only that, and like recently I found statistics that show like Muslims generally face 50% more what's the word
bias,
kinda, right? Discrimination. Muslims face more discrimination than any other like religious group, like 50% more. Like it's actually was a surprising number, and that's from I think like ISNA. It's not Islamic. It's a they're kind of like the census, like they like take like data of people and stuff like that. It's not Muslim run or anything. I can definitely look them up too. Yeah, that's something I found. And well, another thing, like going closely what Brittany said, is attend our events, please. Like I'm always looking for attendance, please. Everybody, if I can get like 1,000 people to show up, hey, come on.
It's nice to see new faces, right?
Oh, I love it.
It's nice just to get different contributions to the conversations. It's really nice.
Dude, Muslims, non-Muslims, I mean, fun fact, there is a few like people who are not Muslim that have attended our events.
That's true.
Yeah, it's open to everybody, and it's interesting, like getting other people's perspectives based on like how they grew up and what they follow. So it's been really good.
I think one small project that I wanted to put out there that we're kind of thinking about starting is halal meat or halal meal option for our students in the cafeteria, because I know that a lot of the food that we have isn't accessible or isn't of the preference of many Muslim community, many Muslim students.
It ain't halal. It ain't zabia.
Right.
It's not your
Yeah.
problem, man. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm tired of being vegetarian.
Yeah.
So we would love support if from the outside community or within TSU to come together, because if there's no demand, then they won't do it. So we need as much support as we can for all these different little missions, whether it be the prayer room, halal meat option, just making the university as accommodable as possible to our Muslims.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we do need to talk about this more, but keeping the graduates, keeping the alumni connected, because historically there have been MSAs at TSU before us. But what happened is like the MSA reached a height and then it dwindled down over time. And then later on, a couple years later, it came back, dwindled down, and now we're at a point where we're on campus again. But the question is, how do we make it remain? That's the question, and I think it has something to do with the alumni. So we do need to talk about this more, and I'm glad you brought this up for us.
Oh, well, two things on that. Like, just two quick things I want to add to that. I have news for you guys. I actually met today at my job one of our alums from the MSA, and they do want to have an event together with us, where they come back to meet us.
Wow.
Like, yeah, so that was pretty neat. And going off of what Brittany said, people have made jokes to me, like saying that, especially because last year 5 people became Muslim. So like they say like well, imagine if we start making halal meat an option, they would say the Muslims are taking over the school. They're already making these jokes.
No.
I mean, because it's HBCU, so like HBCUs are generally predominantly Christian. So.
Yeah, a tradition.
We'd be surprised at how many non-Muslims enjoy halal. You understand how many of them consume and actually prefer buying halal. You understand? It's a high number now, and it's doable. We can have an off-campus, off-camera conversation about helping you guys get started with the process of getting halal meat at TSU, and involve some other entities, our entity as well, but some other entities that can help spearhead that conversation, because it is needed. I mean, it is part of our fabric, and our way of life, and also, you want to make it comfortable for you all. You understand what I'm saying? That are there, and other Muslim students that are there as well. So, a prayer space and halal dining in terms of halal food is the very best things the university can provide, or any university can provide at the very basic level of providing support to the Muslim students' place to pray and making sure you all have halal meat. But also funding, to make sure you guys get funded, student government, however, because I know each school is different in terms of where the funding comes from. But in general, we want to be able to say, okay, TSU has the money need to go on trips, to go on different conferences, to leave campus, because it's the world awaits you all. The world awaits, outside of TSU, there's a whole world out there. You know what I'm saying? And we want to expose you all to as much as that as possible, inshallah. Any last comments before we come up on almost an hour of this conversation? It's been, alhamdulillah, very beautiful and very productive, and really enjoyed you all's energy tonight and you all's participation in this conversation and this exchange. And this platform here is always open to you all in case that you all want to think about having a TSU MSA podcast. Your home is right here, and we can help produce it for you on the back end and etc. Inshallah. Any last comments that you all want to leave us tonight with?
I think one quick thing that I want to say is I really want people or non-Muslims to know that we as Muslims are very similar to them. Like, we stand for so many similar beliefs, whether it be like breast cancer awareness. We want to show like this is the month, right? So we want to make it known that we're actually a lot more like than it may seem. So through our MSA, we hope everyone realizes that we have a lot more similarities, and we want to relate to them as much as possible, whether it be humanitarian causes or just any event in general. We also support them, and we want to make it known.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off of that, like
piggyback. We say lamb back. We don't say piggyback. You don't eat pig.
I don't know. I have a camel.
I didn't even expect that.
I have a camel. I don't know about you guys.
Halal back.
Oh, that had me tickled.
That was good. That was good.
That was good.
I'm from the desert. We have camels.
Camel back.
To jump on that point, I think like recently, like with everything that's been going on, I think it's really important for us to also like collaborate with other HBCU MSAs. So we've been like following and like the Howard MSA, and then some other MSAs as well, just like really connecting with them and being able to reach them, and like even if there's like a possible collaboration that could happen there. Because I think a lot of times like we collaborate with like PWI MSAs, but I think it makes a difference when the HBCU MSAs just come together, because there's a very like, I guess like niche perspective that we have at like HBCUs.
That is very true.
And it's important for us to come together so we can like have a space together as well. So hopefully that can happen soon, inshallah.
I mean, inshallah, it's in the works. Like we're in contact with Meharry. Meharry also just really started their MSA, and Fisk as well just started.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're in contact with them now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're very nearby to us too. So.
Yeah, literally walking distance.
Right. That's the start.
Sadiban, do you have anything you want to say?
I don't think I have much else to add. I really enjoyed it, actually, yeah. And we did discuss some very important things, and I think we're walking away with more to discuss behind the scenes. There's stuff to take away from this podcast that we can benefit our MSA with. So I really do appreciate the invitation. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, one comment from me, like to finish things off. I don't like to get sentimental, but like I want to say that like I'm happy we finally got an MSA. Like before, like the Dr. Zain Sabato, he's one of our advisors. I love him to death. Before he reached out to me about MSA, I didn't even know MSA was a thing. I didn't know it existed. Like, and when he talked to me about it, like that was when I was in the middle of a state of like I was trying to be a better person, changing my life around and everything, because I was not close to Islam really at the time, and like MSA changed that, and that's why I always like to tell people like come to MSA because it made me better, and I know it can do the same for anybody else. And coming to MSA, like I wish I could mention everybody by name, but there's too many people to mention by name. I love all the members of our MSA. Everybody's really amazing, like good people. Everybody's trying to learn, improve. Like like I can mention a few names like Fatima and Sama and Muhammad. Don't
forget Ahmed.
Abu, yeah. Everybody's amazing, and these guys too, like Sadeban, Brittany, Mariam, Nida, Rimaz. Everybody's helped put MSA together, and I didn't even want to be the MSA president, and I only became president because everybody encouraged me to do it. Like I didn't have the purpose to do
popular. You're popular.
Yeah, it was a business decision.
I felt like I wasn't worthy of the position, but alhamdulillah, like I know everyone want people to think I'm the face. Like even though I may be like kind of a face of this, but like I have a great council behind me. Not just them, but all of them, as I'm going to say. I take anything they have to say into account for any decisions or anything. Like I always like they've been amazing. Like I love all of you guys. Like this is really my family here.
Oh, Zach.
I love you too, Zach.
Hey, shout out to the engineer for bringing the claps in. Alhamdulillah. On that point, no, this is beautiful. Certainly, in 2025, next year, inshallah, the return of the HBCU MSA conference that was put on, that has been put on by us here at the HBCU MSA Coalition will return. Historically, we have done, Sister Brittany and the rest of with the other MSAs, you all brought them together. Historically, started out with a few schools back in 2015, and we had several conferences at Howard, actually in DC. And we had North Carolina A&T, we had Hampton, we had Lincoln and Cheney, Morgan State, Bowie, etc. A bunch of us. We had even crew from the University of Michigan come from Flint campus at the time. They just come because they just wanted to check it out. They just wanted to be in the company of other Muslims. That conference is coming back, to your point, because we do understand the value of what that meant to students, because it did allow for a lot of sharing, a lot of SWOT analysis, a lot of breakout sessions. We got just some scholars in Islam that you probably will not be able to get access to anywhere else unless you went to a conference like that and paid maybe a lot of money to be there. And we had everything set up, so inshallah, our intentions is to bring that back next year in 2025 for the benefit of this group of this reemergence of a lot of HBCU MSAs coming out of COVID, because that's what happened. COVID knocked us out and knocked out a lot of our efforts and basically knocked out the whole world on shutdown, and then we lost a lot of our contacts and communications, and we have now alhamdulillah reemerged, and a lot of the other HBCU MSAs have reemerged with new e-boards and are off to the races like you are, and putting on events, having a gym on a regular basis on campus, et cetera, and doing lots of other collabs and a lot of other initiatives to engage the campus and the community. So you all are doing a lot. You all doing a lot of great work. I know what it takes, and I understand the positions that you are in, because I was once there as a student, trying to maintain your grades and also maintain leadership on a student level. It is challenging. We didn't really get to talk about that challenge, but in this conversation, but I know that for most of you all, it is a challenge. You know what I'm saying? And we as alum and community, we will try our best to support you all, in giving you resources and advocating on you all's behalf as much as possible to alleviate some of that extra paperwork and et cetera. So we'll work our best, inshallah, to do that for you all. But we appreciate this program here tonight, and Tennessee, you all coming on and gracing us with your presence about the wonderful TSU. We, inshallah, hope to visit you all in Tennessee soon, to pay a visit to you all at TSU and Fisk and et cetera, because we would like to be on the ground, what I'm saying, and actually see you all in person outside this virtual screen. But alhamdulillah, may Allah reward you all. Please follow TSU. Before we leave, the call to action is at least follow Tennessee State MSA. It's right here on the screen. Penn State MSA right there on the bottom of your screen. You can follow them, look at their content, like the content, share it at least. And right now there will be a donation link forthcoming, I was told. So right now there isn't, but we want to encourage you all to follow them at least right now. And when that information becomes available, to please give, especially as we get close to Ramadan. When Ramadan is coming up and you may want to host iftars on campus, that takes some money. So the believers can help sponsor the Tennessee State MSA. They can host iftar on campus and actually get halal meals on campus, catered or whatever. That would be great for them, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, we really appreciate you all, and we will stay in contact with you. You all are part of the chat, our WhatsApp group, and alhamdulillah, thank you all for coming tonight, and we really appreciate it. And until next time, peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Don't work against us becoming Muslims if that's our choice.
What would you like people to think about you when you've gone?
I'd like for them to say he took a few cups of love. He took 1 tablespoon of patience, 1 teaspoon of generosity, 1 pint of kindness. He took 1 quart of laughter, 1 pinch of concern, and then he mixed willingness with happiness. He added lots of faith, and he stirred it up well. Then he spread it over a span of a lifetime, and he served it to each and every deserving person he met.
Muhammad Ali, thank
Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. They say the first cutter be the one that sets the tone, to add pressure to a lesser known flesh and bone, to look different than the picture shown, and to be a rebel means you're not about to settle till you get your own. This one's for all my outside of the box thinkers, with bumblebee singers and paper cut fingers and scrapes on their kneecaps. I know the pain lingers. The healthy way to heal a broken wing is to give it love. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. Yeah, the thing about community is how proud it is. We understand what well balanced and what grounded is. And love is the hinge that heals and mends, conceals and blends, and keeps us all covered. That's groundage is. We say it's all black when it's all love, and it's brown when it's all good. Groundage is. We help heal the hurt. So put us on. So put us on. I said you gotta put us on.
Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999, legacy, legacy, MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999, legacy, legacy, MuslimJournal.net online.